Tomorrow is World Naked Gardening Day. I need to know, is there a naked gardening club in Philly?
Mike would like to join.
Yeah, I'd like to see the hose and the rakes and trowels and all the equipment they use. No, you know what a trowel is.
My heart stopped for a second. Gosh.
No.
Yeah, the gardening tools.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Touch me. You know just how to touch me. Kiss me. You know just where to kiss me. Call. You know how to make me feel so good. And you know how to make me feel so good.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is Talking Crazy 88 back again with another podcast for you. Yeah. After Thanksgiving, hope y'all had a lovely Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you're not drinking and driving because the law enforcement is out there to snatch your black ass up. And your white ass too. And your Hispanic ass up. Oh my goodness. Praise God. Alright, let me go ahead and slow this down. Let me slow this down so we can go ahead and get into the meat of this podcast. Woo, man, they don't make songs like that like they used to. Like the way I grew up on music like that. Whew. I mean, I feel sorry for the younger generation. There's hope with Bruno Mars, but other than that, there's no classics that are being put out in 2020, in the 2020s, or even in the 2010s, man. Feel sorry for all y'all have to deal with Sexy Red, excuse me. And the host of degenerate music culture today in black music. Well, there is no such thing as black music anymore. It's just degenerate music now. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about, but I just wanted to pop my head up. And because I haven't done a podcast in a minute, and I know some of my loyal subscribers out there wondering what happened. They're all Talking Crazy 88. Just been a little bit busy, but I've been listening to a whole lot of channels, watching a lot of channels out there, and I'm kind of ambivalent on how YouTube is flowing. I mean, it has evolved in the 10 years that I've been on YouTube. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers come and go, but particularly black YouTubers who's putting out the same rhetoric, relationships, the ills of the black community, the degenerate ills of the black community. But I'm declaring myself that I am separating myself from the black community as a whole. And I'll explain why. I'm almost 50 years old, and I haven't seen much progress. I've seen a lot of regression, but not a lot of progress. And I want to talk about other things other than black women, because they're not really our women, people. They're not. Especially nowadays, the way black men and black women are still at each other's throat, even after 400 years. Even the last 40 years when I was growing up, we've been at each other's throat. We were, we were literally, we were stuck with each other only because we had to be with each other. But now, 40 years later, black men have options, believe it or not. I mean, I hear brothers going overseas, which is great. I think y'all need to travel, but I think y'all need to travel to countries other than the Dominican Republic, Colombia, Brazil, and Thailand. I think y'all need to talk. I think y'all need to go ahead and expand your horizons. I mean, if you're going to see the world, you might as well just go ahead and see the world. Just like Austin Holloman, he's out there traveling, seeing the world. Now, I don't know what he's doing out there, nor do I care what he's doing out there, because let me just say this: y'all don't care if I go out from New York to Vegas, with some hookers. All right, because they got hookers here in the United States, people. And believe it or not, economically, it's a lot cheaper to pay $200 to a hooker here in New York City than to go overseas to spend thousands and thousands of dollars for travel, hotel, lodging, food, entertainment, because you're going to the clubs over there just to get some hookers over there, or so-called hookers. Because you gotta remember, to be honest with you, if you're doing this for the weekends, yes, you're gonna be with some hookers, or you're gonna get with some women that are selling pussy, or you're gonna get with women that unintentionally hooking just by getting some money out of you. Because that's what they want. Because at the end of the day, all women want money from a man. Okay? They all want something from a man. They either want money or they just want your time or your energy. They want something from you. There is a cost, people. There is a cost for dealing with a woman. And I've learned it, and I learned that lesson over the last 20 years. I've learned a valuable lesson that there is a cost to dealing with a woman. There is a cost marrying a woman. There is a cost trying to be that so-called good boyfriend. All right? Now, you may say that American women, because my personal opinion about American women, I mean, that's all I know is American women. And most guys, and I'll just say this, most guys have bad experience with American women than they have good experiences with them. I'll just say that. I'm not going to call them trash. I'm not going to insult them. I'm just going to intelligently say that American women, it doesn't matter what race they are, most guys have bad experience with American women here in this country. You know how I know? Because I've had bad experiences with women in this country. I had more bad experiences than good. Otherwise, I would be in a relationship right now. I would be married right now. All right? I mean, I've dated women that so-called had educated, but let me just tell you something. Those are the most boring women that I have ever dated in my life. That's just my personal opinion. Okay? They're just boring. They're just boring. Either they're just boring or they just don't have time because they're always busy. So, that is the reason why most guys are going overseas. It's not because, I think what they're saying is that, everybody's inferring that it's a slap at black women because they are. I mean, it is what they're doing. The black men that are going overseas to deal with women over there, yes, they are very attractive. A lot of those women, I've seen the pictures, I've seen the videos. A lot of those women are very attractive. They're extremely attractive. I mean, think about it. I've seen pictures of, women in Central Asia. They're very attractive women, man. I tell you. Whew, I can't wait to get out there to see that. That's why I'm brushing up on my Russian, Belaruski. Spending time learning Russian. Although slowly running, my level, my skill level when it comes to Russian is at zero. Is at zero. I still got a lot to learn. I fell off, but as they say, in order to master a skill, you got to be repetitive. Now, you'll notice that this is going to be a very boring, talking crazy podcast because I'm not yelling, screaming. Well, I might do that later, but I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling or screaming or getting all overly emotional and cussing. Well, because YouTube has some guidelines now, and I gotta tone it down 100%. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna say something crazy every once in a while. All right. But like I said, the black men that are going overseas, they are literally throwing it in the black women's face, and rightfully so. They should. Because think about it, for the last 40 years, when I was growing up, I always been seen as the nice guy. Now let me just say this. If a motherfucker even calls me nice, I'm gonna cuss you out. Because if you look up the word nice, do some research on that word nice. It's old French back in the 16th century, 1500s, 16th century. If you call someone nice back then, you're literally calling them an idiot. And that's essentially what it means, being a nice guy, is that you're an idiot. And I still hold that definition. I still hold true to that definition. Someone who is a nice person is an idiot. Nice girl, idiot. Nice guy, idiot. So I'm going to remove that word from my vocabulary. And I will correct you if you call me a nice person, a nice guy. I'm not a nice guy. I'm not an idiot. But guys like me who are Not alpha. I'll just say this. I'm not a who's not alpha but I'm not a goddamn beta. But I'm not alpha. Women attend, well, I'll just put it to you this way. The women in the United States, they tend to be attracted to men who are degenerate, who have degenerate behavior disorders, mental disorders. I mean, they're degenerates. Okay? And I'll explain, and I'll give you one example. There was this female stand-up comedian that I didn't know. I seen her around because back a few years ago, I had a friend that she was a stand-up comedian. And she built a brand here in New York, but she's now doing her own thing down south, in the South. I'm not going to tell you who it is. But her colleague was a white woman, and I seen her around certain events that she was at. And she was a white Italian woman. Young. Probably in her late 20s, early 30s at that time. She was in her late 20s at that time. And she was drop dead gorgeous, I tell you. She was very pretty. She's very tall, thin. She had some big titties. Nice ass, nice legs and everything. And I saw her on this podcast where she confronted this brother who finessed her out of $300. Finessed her out of $300 in her and some pussy. Okay? And this went on for 2 hours where she was just yelling at the guy and trying to refute all of her lies. But I can just tell right then she was off, mentally off. And she admitted that she was always attracted to guys that are abusive. Now fast forward to 2013. I mean, not 2013, 2023. And I just found out that this young lady had passed away. She had died. And she may have died in the hands of her current boyfriend at the time. And the tweets were and she tweeted it out that her ex was stalking her while they were together. Even before they broke up, he was choking and raping and telling her that, inadvertently telling her that she would go missing. They had a case. She finally dug up a case on him. They're saying what happened to her last girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. Now, she went missing. And 2 days after, and it happened right around May that she went missing, and the police found her dead. Tragic. But women like that who are disturbed equate love with degeneracy. See, this is why I don't believe in love anymore. I don't think any sane, intelligent man should believe in romantic love anymore, because I don't believe in that shit anymore. I'm more realistic. I'm more grounded. If you really want to learn love, there are different types of love that you can that is realistic. I'm not going to go into it right now because I'm still doing my homework on it. But romantic love, it gives people hope. And it gives people too much hope and too much delusion. If you believe in romantic love, you're a delusional person. Come back to earth. Come back to reality. Because you're loving, because here's the thing. You're loving that person the way you see them, not the way they are. Now, if she hadn't believed in romantic love, she would have saw this guy was a scumbag and left him alone. Okay? But women in this country, they are attracted to quote unquote bad boys. They are attracted to the Chads, the Tyrones, the Pookies, the Ray Rays. They are attracted to them. And they're a lot more, and I can tell you why. They're a lot more interesting for the wrong reasons they are a lot more interesting than me for the wrong reasons. Think about it, Sexy Red. She's up here talking about how she thought it was. She was telling the story. I don't know. It was Cap that one of her ex-boyfriend thought it was. She thought it was romantic that one of her ex-boyfriend robbed somebody, a hard-working person. Okay, robbed him and brought the money back to her. Which I thought it was cap. It was kind of stupid. It's kind of retarded. Let me tell you something. I think, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna belittle women like a lot of y'all be doing. I think women, and I've changed my perspective on that. I think women in general, it doesn't matter what race they are. I think as a guy, y'all underestimate them. Y'all underestimate what they can do to a man. Believe me, I've been on the back end of that. Okay? I've been on the butt end of a woman's scorn so many goddamn times. Y'all better start wising up and figuring out what these women and stop love. You better start figuring out that who these women are and what they're capable of doing. Read your history. Read your history books about how women can have brought down empires. Sodom and Gomorrah, biblical. This woman brought a man down. The Matahari, the British spy that was eliciting she was using her sexuality to get men of power to divulge secrets to her. I think y'all need to start reading history about how really destructive women can be. Y'all underestimate these people. Y'all underestimate these creatures. Not me, not anymore. I see them for what they are. I don't see them for being soft and sweet and kind. I think they're very manipulative and conniving and cunning. That's what I think. But y'all do whatever y'all want to do. Y'all want to still believe in these hoes? Go right ahead. I don't believe in these hoes anymore. And speaking of hoes, hoish culture. I didn't do a podcast on this bitch who claimed that she got whooped upside her head by a Well, I'm back. I had to take another phone call, people. Now, as I was saying, speaking of Sexy Red and the degenerate behavior and the degenerate music, I find that women love degenerate. Like I said before, I believe women love degenerate behavior of men. They don't. That's why that there's an 80-20 rule. 80% of the women love 20% of the men. And guys like me, we're not going to compete with that. We're only going to get the leftover women, as our great Kevin Samuels did a podcast about before his untimely death. He was talking about the issue of leftover women over 35, 40, 50, maybe even 60 years old, that after they go through getting used up and abused by these men, they look at guys like us who are the provider types, who are successful in their careers, who are not degenerates, who don't smoke, who don't drink, who don't chase after women on a daily basis, who have no game, as these game coaches always tell us. We ain't got no game. That's why we can't get the women. Well, let me just say this. Having game will get you women, but it ain't the women that you want. Okay? You're going to get the women that either are dysfunctional, they're fat, ugly, dysfunctional, crazy, criminal, women that are criminal, that have criminal records, stalkers. You don't know what you're getting by approaching these women, getting their numbers, going on a date, or having them come to your house. It could be a setup girl it could be a woman that's going to be a setup girl. You know, like a girl that'll lure you to their home and get robbed, or you dumb enough to text them your address and they're gonna send some niggas over to rob your house. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to use that term, nigger, negroes, ninjas. I'm supposed to clean up my language on this podcast. But see, that's what game will get you, people. Yeah, you'll be part of the 20% of men that are able to get 80% of women, but why would you want that? Okay? You're better off you're better off one or two things. If you want to compete with that, that's fine. I don't care. You're better off just getting your passport and getting the fuck up out of here. Because if you go on these dates, you're better, or either that, stop going on dates. Stop taking these women on dates. Like, let me just address, I was supposed to talk about the brick lady, excuse me. Yeah, I'll get to that later. But let me just go ahead and talk about how black men, like myself, who don't have a good experience with American women, stop dating. Stop taking them out to date. Stop taking them out to Cheesecake Factory. Don't even take them to the Cheesecake Factory. Don't even take them to no $500 dinner. Stop with the 3-date rule. Especially if you're a man of a certain age, like myself. I'm 50 years old. I ain't got time to have 3 dates to find out if you like me or not. Look, we go on one date. If you like me, if you got to tell me you want to drop the drawers. Okay? Go back to your place, my place, drop the drawers, do something, man. Just let me know that you want to drop the drawers, all right? Because I'm a guy. I want to drop the drawers. I want you to drop your drawers. I'll drop my drawers. Get it on, man. Get it on and popping. I ain't got that much time left to live, all right? All right? I'm not trying to marry you. First of all, I'm 50 years old. I ain't marrying no 50-year-old woman. I'm not marrying a 60-year-old woman. I'm not even marrying a 40-year-old woman. If you're 35, I'm barely talking to you. If you turn 35, if you're over 35, between 35 to 40, I'm barely talking to you. Now what the fuck I'm gonna do? Excuse my language. I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to start off slow and I'm just going to go out talking crazy again. Talking crazy, got to tone it down. Now, what is it going to look like if I'm going out with a 65-year-old woman and I'm 50 years old? All right? I saw that halftime show with Dolly Parton. 77 years old, dressed in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit. Now you know that there's a breakdown in society where you got these grannies running around dressing up 20, 50 years younger than they're supposed to be dressed up, right? Now, give her credit. I'll bang the dust off of her, but you got to roll over and look at that woman and realize that's a 77-year-old woman. And you want to try to get the hell up out of there. I don't know, but Negroes always got to show their teeth if they with a marginally attractive woman in there that's not a black woman. They got to show their teeth. And they're going to try to get at this woman by sending tweets and texts and going on her DMs on her Instagram page saying, hey, Dolly, how you doing? You still married to Carl Dean? Yeah, she's still married to Carl Dean. And she ain't getting no divorce, ninja. Leave that woman alone. She just did a tease for y'all. She just showed her 77-year-old goods. Y'all nose is wide open. You just got to realize that's a 77-year-old woman. She's collecting Social Security while she's working. Leave her alone. Leave that shit alone. Same with a ninja dating Cher. I never got a chance to talk about this. This man is in his 40s. Dumped Amber Rose for Cher, a 76-year-old woman that has over $200 million net worth. Now, I understand why he did. I understand. I get it. But damn it, man. 76 years old, man. I mean, I knew this was going to devolve into something degenerate. I mean, I've heard, I saw a Vlad TV interview of a porn star named Wesley Pipes. And he was like talking about, he did a scene with a 76-year-old woman. And he was even regretting that shit. He was like, yeah, I did it, but I regret doing that shit, man. I'm like, I don't know. Full disclosure, I peeked at it and I'm like, oh no. I had to close my eyes, man. I'm like, I felt bad for Wesley Pipes, man. I really did. A 76-year-old doing movie? Man, no, man, no. What is wrong? I have to say it, man. The black man's image, we are the trash can of dating. I hate to say it. We black men, we always get everybody's leftovers. We get the leftover women. If we're a black man that's not in the top 20%, meaning that I'm not an athlete, I'm not an entertainer, I'm not in organized crime, making money in organized crime, nor am I a high-paying professional. You're not going to get the high-quality women. And even if you do get the high-quality women, it's not leverage because those so-called high-quality women, they tend to be attracted to Pookies and Ray Rays. They tend to be attracted to the broke Chads, the ones that are broke. When they have access to your shit, they tend to gravitate back to the degenerate. I mean, I want you to watch this movie called Casino. Now, this was based on real life characters. Sam Rothstein and Ginger. He was well connected in the mob, running a casino, had money. Saw Ginger, who happens to be a con artist, a casino cheat. He saw her, fell in love with her, married her, bore his child. But she was still fucking with the low life pimp. She was still giving him his money. So I get it when brothers say, "Hey man, money, you can get the woman, but it's not leverage. Money should not be all you have, man." Because these bitches are going to always gravitate back to the degenerate behaviors of the men of their lives. That's why you have to vet them. That's why that's why guys tell you to vet these women. They're not telling you how to do it. I'm going to tell you how to do it, right? You got to do a background check. Do a background check on them bitches. Do a credit check on these bitches. All right? Hire a private investigator. Talk to some of her family members. Find out who she was. Talk to some of her friends who she previously dated. Did she date athletes and drug dealers and all this? Did she date degenerate people before you? Okay. Talk to the bitch. Have a conversation about her life. Women love talking. They just love to talk. And I just let them talk. I just sit there and listen to them. I'm like, okay. All right. Okay. All right, your mama did this to you? You were what? When you were a child? They love talking about themselves. They love talking about their personal business to a man that they're comfortable with. Trust me. I know I've heard some bullshit from some of these women. Okay? I heard a lot of bullshit that these women be, going through or putting their man through or whatever. There are red flags, and they will openly tell you your red flag. They're red flags, people. They will openly tell you your red flags, but because you believe in this bitch, and because you believe in romance and love and being egalitarian, being an idiot towards these women, you oversee it. Because I know, because I've done it. I've done it when I was younger. I didn't have people telling me this shit. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have YouTube videos putting me up on game about these hoes. I didn't have this. You youngins, you have this shit. You have also Uncle Talking Crazy to refer to. And speaking of that, since I'm demonetized, I'm going to close it. I may think about opening up another channel where I'm just going to clean everything up. I'm not going to be talking about black women anymore. That's old and played out. Because every black man that I know has been mistreated by a black woman. Whether it be their mama, whether it be their auntie, their grandmother, the sister, the older sister, their female cousins, their female friends, the women that put them in friend zone after they express how much. Believe me, I tell these hoes that, yeah, if the ones I like, yeah, I got a crush on you. Who do they attract? They say, oh, that's so cute. But no, I don't have a crush on you. I have a crush on Pookie. So move out my way, nigga. They will say that shit in your face. And none of the game is gonna help you, man. You can go ahead and spend $150 a month on the Bad Boy membership. You can do whatever you want. Spend $150 on a dating coach, on these dating coaches. That'll just get you low quality, low functioning bitches out there. Trust me. I don't approach these hoes. For what? Why the fuck would I? You don't know what you're getting? Go out. You know what? I'll take that back. You should approach them. Go ahead and approach them for sport. But vet them. Write down what you want out of a bitch. And if she doesn't meet your standards, cut that bitch off. Next caller. Just say to yourself, whenever that bitch say something crazy, just say in your mind, letting you know that this bitch ain't shit. Just say to yourself, I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. Cut that bitch off. Next caller, like Minister X. That's how you vet a bitch. I was just on a date about a month ago with a bitch, man, who was boring as fuck. I'm just sitting there listening to this bitch, and I'm like, bitch, you are as boring as watching. It's more exciting for me to sit on my balcony on a nice day, sit on my balcony and watch the New York City Transit bus turn right on Co-op City Boulevard. That's more exciting than listening to this bitch talk about her family and that and that. Boring. She's a boring ass. Anyway, so, and that's another thing. Get off of those dating apps, people. Dating apps are for losers, and you got to get out there. You got to get out there in the world. If you're not going overseas, you got to get out of your house. You got to go to places where you got to go, especially if you're in New York City, you got to go to places where you can interact and communicate with people. You got to go to events where you're talking to people. You're especially talking to women. Okay? They'll pick up on it. Like I said, they'll pick up on how good of a guy you are, or how decent you are, or if they're attracted. Well, not even decent. If they're attracted to you, if there's a genuine attractive, forget about being a nice guy. Because there's no such thing as a nice guy or a good guy. Women are attracted to certain types of men. If you're that man that she's attracted to, she will holler at you. She will say something to you. Trust me. Trust me on this one. All right? If she likes you, if there's something about you that she likes, she will get at you. She will choose you, people. Fuck all that game, man. There's no such thing as game, man. You can't game a bitch into having sex with you or getting a relationship out of you. Get out of that bitch. If she likes you, she will get at you. All right? Trust me on this one. But listen, let me go ahead and get on out of here because I got some shit to do. But I'll be back, man. I'll be back later on to do a podcast later on, and hopefully for the rest of the year, I'll be doing podcasts for the rest of the year. Probably one or two once a week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes when I get monetized and put up a new channel, so I can make some money. I might even show my face for the next year. I don't know. Who knows? Well, listen, let me get on out of here. This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here, people. And black men, you better look out for one another, but if not, look out for yourself, people. Enjoy.